Have you ever tried walking three dogs at once and thought, wow, I'm not in control of this at all? Now, imagine those dogs are actually weird, fluffy mountain beasts that fart when you pet them too much. Yeah, that's basically herdling. Today, we're diving into Okomotive's brand new adventure game, Herdling, which came out on August 21. These are the folks behind the Far Games, those gorgeous emotional journeys about vehicles and survival. But this time, instead of a ship or a train, you've got a herd of lovable creatures. And your job? Guide them up a mysterious mountain. Simple, right? Well, not exactly. Oh, and before we get going, stick around until the end, because I've got a free Steam key for hurdling to give away. I'll explain how you can win it after we climb this mountain together. The game starts in a desolate city. You wake up under a bridge, rocking this super stylish jacket with a hood that your character keeps fiddling with, like he's trying to make a fashion statement even at the end of the world. Pretty soon, you stumble upon three strange little creatures. These are your calicorns. They look part mountain goat, part folklore spirit, and part plush toy that you'd pay way too much for at an anime convention. The early vibe is cozy, almost meditative. There's no rush. You can clean your creatures, pet them, and just hang out. And yes, they'll fart if you overdo the affection. Classic. The tone here feels very accommodative, quiet, wordless storytelling, with music and atmosphere doing most of the heavy lifting. Slowly, the city falls behind, and the countryside stretches out ahead. That's when the real journey begins. Herdling is all about atmosphere. You'll cross alpine meadows, foggy forests, snowy cliffs, and forgotten valleys. It feels like a love letter to the Swiss landscape, which makes sense since Okomotive is a Swiss studio. Honestly, it's the kind of game where you can just stop, tilt the camera a little, and take in the scenery like it's a digital postcard. But it's not just a walking sim. There are puzzles to solve, paths to clear, and hazards to survive. The big one? Birds. These dangerous, eerie birds swoop in to threaten your herd. But here's the twist. Eventually, one of them joins your squad. Suddenly, your flock of mountain plushes includes an ex-enemy. And that's just peak video game storytelling. The environment feels alive. Rivers shimmer, forests creak, snow crunches underfoot. And all of this was built in Unity, which shows how far the engine has come. It doesn't look like Unity, it looks like a painting. The magic isn't just in the scenery, it's in the tech that makes those creatures come alive. Let's talk fur, because man, Okomotive didn't just slap some fuzzy textures on these creatures. They built an entire custom fur system from scratch. Their tech artist, Harry Elisavakis, I hope I spelled it right, explained how it all went down. At first, they tried using an existing Unity tool called Fluffy, but eventually, Harry decided to roll his own fur tech, partly for performance, partly for learning, and, as he admits, partly because of ego, like every indie game developer. The journey of Herdling's first system went through multiple versions: procedural geometry, card-based system, shell texturing, before landing on something called Calicote. Basically, each strand of fur reacts with the creator's movement thanks to little physics simulation running in a compute shader. It's nerdy, it's complicated, and it looks amazing. The fur clamps, sways, and even reacts to grooming tools that let the devs shape how the creators should look. And all of this runs not just on PC, but on consoles and even the Nintendo Switch. That's some wizard level optimization. The result? Your herd doesn't just look cute, they feel alive. If the fur wasn't enough, Okomotive also flexed their shader muscles with water. And it's not just blue goo on the ground. They built custom lighting, depth based ripples, projected caustics, fake refraction without ugly artifacts, and even a cheap form of screen space reflections, all packed into Unity watershed. This means when your herd waves through rivers or snowy meltwater, the environment reacts. You get ripples, reflections, and color changes that feel dynamic. It's the kind of subtle detail that you don't consciously notice, but your brain registers it. And it makes the world feel real. Combined with the painterly art style, Herdling constantly looks like you've stepped into a storybook. The inspirations are clear too. Games like Journey, The Last Guardian, and the pathless echo through the design. But there's also folklore DNA here. Creators inspired by mountain animals and traditions like Bulgarian cookery. The result is something familiar, but fresh, cozy, yet mysterious. So, what's it actually like to play? Imagine a shepherd game mixed with a pilgrimage. You're guiding your herd, solving light environmental puzzles, and occasionally running into exhilarating stampede sequences. There aren't traditional enemies, apart from these birds, but the real challenge is keeping your herd safe and together. Along the way, you'll ride creatures, climb mountains, cross rivers, and face sudden weather changes. Each new area brings new obstacles, but the core loop stays the same. Move forward, keep the herd alive, and push toward the summit. The more time you spend with your calicorns, the more attacked you get. And when danger shows up, it stings. Automotive has always been about emotional, wordless storytelling, and Herdling continues that tradition. You won't find cutscenes packed with dialogue. Instead, everything is conveyed through visuals, music, and gameplay. It's about companionship, trust, and survival. By the time you're halfway up the mountain, you'll be way more invested in these fluffy creatures than you ever expected. Let's zoom out for a second. Herdling is made by Okomotive, a small Swiss studio founded in 2017. Their first game, Far Lone Sales, launched in 2018 and was a surprise hit. Then came Far, Changing Tides in 2022, which kept the same vibe but shifted the setting. And now, Herdling feels like the next step. Still atmospheric, still wordless, but with a bigger scope and the new mechanics. The publisher, Panic, is also worth mentioning. They are the folks behind Firewatch and Untitled Goose Game. They don't just pick random titles, they go for games that feel special, games that can't really be compared to anything else. Yannick even made their own quirky handheld, the Playdate, which is basically proof that they just do things because they love them. And that's what makes this game so interesting. It's not trying to be the next big open world blockbuster. It's not about grinding or stats or loot boxes. It's about atmosphere, companionship, and the joy of guiding a herd through a fallen world. So, to wrap this up, Herdling is a single player adventure where you guide your herd of calicorns up a mountain, across forests, rivers, and snowy peaks. It mixes cozy vibes with moments of tension, and it looks stunning thanks to Okomotive's custom tech and painterly art style. If you loved far games, or if you into journey style experiences, This one's going to be worth checking out. Alright, giveaway time. To win the free Steam key for Herdling, here's a little quiz. What's the name of the creators in this game? Leave your answer in the comments and I'll pick a winner in a few days. So, does Herdling sound like your kind of adventure? Would you shepherd a farting mountain beast? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Thanks for watching.